it is indeed my proud privilege to present to you Dr. Reddy to deliver the keynote address.
Namaste. Good morning. First, let me greet IMR's Diamond Jubilee celebrations. You've done a marvelous work. Over the years, what all you have done individually and as an organization is phenomenal. And that's what made India today look up and say, yes, we are a global citizen. Thank you, Kavita. Kavita, I know her from both sides. From one side, probably one of the leading ENT surgeons of the world, my guru, Dr. Satyanarayana. On the other side, my very dear friend from college days, who has built an empire. Thank you, Kavita. Mr. Sivaraman. The only Prabhu Chawla that I know. For almost 4 decades. And of course, I know my daughter for much longer than that. It's nice, she brought out a topic saying, if I had sons, would my daughters be what they were? I think it's in each one of us. You know, we can't become a leader if we do not realize what we have. And right in the beginning, I want to say, there is very little difference in our creation between you and me, or the Prime Minister and an ordinary Asha worker in the villages, because we are composed of a creation. I believe in God, say God has given a creation. All those who don't believe, the Creator has given a creation, which is a tremendous value. If I ask some of you, what's the price of your body? The common word that comes out is priceless, or beautiful, strong, healthy, all of these. But there is a price. A famous researcher from Yale University said a dead body costs $1.75. And then he started putting a price for each of our body. There are 750 billion neurons in our brain, so he put a few paisa for each of these. Then he went to the nose and said this to contact, put a price. Then the tongue, then he came to the thyroid glands, and then he came to the lung and said these trillions of cells which throw out the bad thing from our system, carbon dioxide, and take from this dirty air. Maybe it's a little more cleaner today after the little rain that we had yesterday. Only the oxygen, you know, they reject the negative from the body, takes this. What capacity those cells. So like this he went on. The liver is equal to several millions of factories which manufacture and then detoxify the kidney. And finally he came to a figure, I'm going to make it short, instead of giving you the figure of each of these, he calculated and totaled it saying it costs $600,000 million. How many of you knew this? But you all know you are precious and you are very important, you are a dynamic leader. But please remember that all of us got this capacity. It's only very few who realize and say, if I have this strength, why I'm not doing? I remember I spent one day, Maharshi Yogi in Holland gave me a 6-hour interview, Darshan. And in Darshan, all that he told was, learn to look inside. See what you think you can do, what you can do for yourself, what you can do for society, how you can bring a transformation into this. And I think that's what it is. If it's a spiritual guru, he has got the entrepreneurship to convert us into this. Our dynamic industrialists have brought all this wealth to the country. In our case, I think we did this simply because I saw when I came back to India on the orders of my parents, I created a small hospital for being a cardiologist for heart. And one of those days, I used to send my patients because there was no acceptable surgical program those days. So I used to send my patients overseas, and I lost a very young man living behind a 31-year-old wife, 4-year-old daughter, 2-year-old son, absolutely stunned. You know why? They couldn't raise $50,000 to go to Houston. I thought to myself, how many more are going to die? Because he can't raise this. And looking back, if I saw in US and UK, the doctors practically ran the entire Indian doctor. Without Indian doctor, NHS would collapse. Today, the majority of the heads of the institutions, not only healthcare institutions, major institutions in the world are, the leadership is with the Indians. This is because we have realized and they work for it. It is just not a passion. Passion mixed with, the patience, persistence, and say, I can do it and I will do this. This is what drove me. At that time, everybody called me crazy. I think somebody here must be there on that day when we opened. At least I know Sundar's father was there to guide me to create this institution. So when we opened that, some of those people in the auditorium, when the president cut the ribbon, Dr. Reddy is a very clever guy. It's not going to be a hospital, it's going to be a 7-star hotel, a 5-star hotel. I said, you are doing injustice to me. This is going to be a 7-star quality hospital. So don't call me a 5-star when I'm going to be 7-star. And sure enough, the leadership came. Leadership came from the housekeeping, leadership came from all levels of our thing. It's not just my doctors. True, we have some wonderful doctors who made a significant impact. As I said, I started because my patient couldn't go for cardiac surgery. Girnath and his team, we have done the world's largest number of cardiac surgeries, 168,000 cardiac surgeries. And with an outstanding result, we match ourselves with only Cleveland Clinic. And Hyderabad Hospital did world record. On 2 consecutive years, they are 100% success rate. This is India. This is Indian doctors. It's just not doctors. The entire team became a leadership by itself. I'll give you one more instance. We started a children's hospital. 3 years after they started the hospital, they did a twin separation. 2 boys fused at the back. Their bone was fused, their nervous system was fused. They had a single organ to pass motion and urine. And after 6 months, the doctors planned an 18-hour surgery to separate these 2 boys. So I thought, let me get somebody who is an expert in this. So I got from Royal Children's Hospital, London, Dr. Haley, who has done several of these surgeries. He saw that 18-and-a-half surgery. Previous day, he saw how they planned the entire program. And next day, he was with them for that 18-and-a-half hours. When I met him, he said, Dr. Reddy, you should be proud. And I should say India should be proud, because nowhere else they would have done with such perfection. When they did this, what happened? Next year, we got 2 children who were fused in the front. So I think this is where I can go on. There are many, many things that they have done. They were able to do this because all of them have a passion saying, we can't sit back and say, we'll do just surgeries as we've done before, but we must create, we must ideate, we must make things differently and better. Again, going back to heart surgery, it was not $50,000. On the day one, we said, we'll charge our patients $3,500. After 34 years, you know what the charge of Apollo Hospital bypass surgery for an ordinary person? $2,000. How did we do it? Because continuously the team innovated. Beating heart surgeries, reducing morbidity, reducing our hospital stay, infection control, all of these are innovation done by us, which others think that they have done it in India. I have also seen, the name is Apollo, so I must tell this story. When Apollo 13 landed on the moon, on the 29th day, they called a few people to meet everybody and then hail their success. My boss was the cardiologist for the NASA, so I tagged along. So I saw a lot of people who were Asians. So I asked one of the directors, how come there are so many Asians? He said, 52% of our NASA consists of Asians, in that 95% are Indians. One of them gave me a type-in. And then he says this type-in is both the receiver and speaker. You know, this is what they have done. But somehow we realize saying, we are in India, this is all that we can do. Please don't think that. There's nothing that we cannot do. And I think this is the spirit that the leadership, the growth, and newer formats that have come up in healthcare. Sometimes they ask me, Dr. Reddy, you say Apollo now is so many hospitals, so much it has done. Are you Mayo Clinic, are you Mass General, or are you MD Anderson? I said, I am not one of those, but certainly they are not what we are. We're in the entire health space. We're looking after starting from bringing awareness of people, then, the checkups, the education, the training, the research, all of these are part of us, and the pharmacies, reach out programs, all of these, we have touched 200 million people, which no other hospital in the world has ever come near these numbers. So this is what, we formatted, yes, a hospital which will deal very, very, very good healthcare for its people with care and compassion. But we also looked at the people at large. That's what helping us now today. I briefly will say there are two things that Indian healthcare is now facing. The first thing is a glorious one. Whatever, not just Apollo, whatever other good hospitals in the country have done, no Indian need to go abroad. There are more than 140 countries, people who are coming to our country. So if you look at this so-called medical value travel, it's about $70,000, $80,000 growing at 18.5%. It's going to be $200 billion. So we said if this is coming, we must see how we can make India as the major healthcare destination. So I gave a name to it saying Heal in India. Of course, it's not my original. It's the Prime Minister's word, Make in India. So I thought, let's make it Heal in India. So that they'll come to the hospital for 10 days. They'll go 20 days to one of the naturopathy centers and get the benefit of both. So I think this is one which we began. I'm sure the whole country will get up to this and give us that credibility which UK occupied for 2 centuries. Everybody went to UK for studying medicine, for getting treatment, for research, for education. But for another half a century, the UK took it over. Today it's all over. So we believe that if we work hard, this is one thing which can make us feel proud. But there is another challenge which all of us must work. It's not just the doctors, mostly the media, and the individual must learn saying, if I have this expensive $6,000 trillion body, I must know how to look after it. Because there's a terrible tsunami that's coming in healthcare called the NCDs, non-communicable diseases. It's estimated by World Economic Forum, by 2020, annually 36 million people will die of NCDs, and the cost is going to be $30 trillion. And the estimated cost for India is $5 trillion. Can Prabhu tell us what that will be? How can India spend $5 trillion on healthcare, which is going to be 54% of that day's GDP? We are struggling to go from 1 to 2%. So I believe we cannot face that disease, but what we need is to see how can we get ourselves, transformed. We're the diabetic capital of the world, heart capital of the world, cancer capital of the world, infectious diseases. All of these are preventable. And the diabetes, if you look after it properly, it won't bite any of your organs. So we have a diabetic clinic, diabetic programs. All of these are there. These are things which are developed not by Dr. Reddy, not by our vice chairman or the top. It came out saying these are the various factors that are needed to stay healthy from diabetes. Similarly, the heart. We're getting heart attacks at 30s. I remember when I came back, I saw 10 people who had heart attack in the ages of 30. When I told this in the American College of Cardiology, they said, Dr. Reddy, Indians don't know the date of birth. I said, don't be foolish. They not only know the date of birth, they know the stars under which they are born. 8 years later, in 1982, they realized that six doctors didn't wake up from their duty rooms, and all of them were Indians. Then hell broke out. Oh, these guys, Indians, they eat a lot of ghee, they eat a lot of coconut oil. I said, what ghee? I know people who not take teaspoonfuls, they take tablespoonfuls of ghee, and they are healthy. And I know so many from Malabar who not only eat ghee for everything, but they also rub it all over their body. But they don't get heart attacks. So now we know that there are things like, the causes for these are, number one, our own habits. So this is why it will make a significant impact if you can reverse all of these and save the country. Because if you look at UK, they announced saying, the UCL announced saying, by 2050, there won't be any cancer death in UK. So I asked them, how is that? He said, we expect by that time we would have perfected the system in such a way that every single British citizen will be periodically checked. So this is why I told our Honorable Prime Minister saying, can we first say that 5 years from now, no Indian lady died of cervical cancer? He said, how is that possible? I said, we have got all these ASHA workers. There are so many technologies to detect early enough cancer, cervix, and you can cure it. So all that is, you need to place it in. I'm happy now. The Honorable Health Minister of Health, Mr. Nadda, has announced that they will first screen 50 crore, that is 500 million people. I think it's a great start, and I'm sure we need, and this is where I think everybody, you have to come together. Because if you look after yourself, you are going to be happy, your family is going to be happy, and the vice versa. In this city, we have tried a nice formula. My secretary is here, Malati. Their team formulated saying we'll do what's called the Apollo Shine program. That is, keep the children knowledgeable about their health. So we went to the more than, close to 200,000 students are enrolled in that program. What they do is they do the physical for them, they tell them their health status, and also send a slip to their parents. And they also get periodic advices. There is a nurse there, there is a telemedicine center in their school. If they need anything more than one nurse, he needs help, immediately she can contact one of our consultants and give help. But there's something else we have included in that. The periodic note that comes and that our teams, they go and speak, it's about the health of their elders too. Only way you will always listen, and definitely listen, is to your children. Like I listen to Preeta all the time. So I think this is a very wonderful program. This is just not the cure. But I think many things like this, we all must know that we will drive the nation not only as a glorious nation, as a number one, number two, number three in the economy and all of this. I think what we need is a healthy and a happy nation. I'm sure many of you who are great entrepreneurs will give this magic formula. Because there is something else which has made a significant impact in healthcare, that's IT. We have used IT for everything. We brought the best technology possible at every time, and you will be happy to know that a year from today, we'll be having in Madras a proton center. This proton is the ultimate for cancer. It does cure and does not harm the body. Mostly it is very, very helpful for children and for brain tumors and other specific things. There's no proton in London. There's no proton in Middle East, no proton in Singapore, no proton in Australia, on this part of the world. All those are in Europe and UK. China is putting up its second one, and Korea and Japan. So I felt, our people deserve it. For 3.2 billion, this proton will serve. It's in Velachery. When you pass that, see what's happening. They're going to take one more year. The machine is 280 tons. I don't know how they brought it from the port to here, but the work is going on, and I believe that will bring a lot of credibility for the country, that we have a proton, we are here to serve not only our people, we'll serve the rest of the world. And we'll say, even the people from US will come to us, you know why? Whatever we do, our outcomes are the same or better. We give something you can't buy with a juice mark or $1, that is care and compassion. And our cost, if it is 10% of the international cost, why shouldn't they all come here? They're coming, and more of them will come. And even in this proton, I think it will be, that's not just the last one that we're going to do. We are continuously kept up with whatever technology that's available. I always say, whenever I open a new hospital, I tell them, saying, this is the most advanced, technologically advanced hospital, because we never ever bought second thing. Because what we wanted was, we want to give the very best for our people. One of the key things for doctor or the staff is to have the technology with them. So I'm happy that we're adopting technology. Using technology, we're the first one to bring in satellite telemedicine, connecting my village to all our Apollo hospitals. Bill Clinton, when he inaugurated that, there was a young girl in the village. The doctor at Hyderabad, the cardiologist at Hyderabad, saw the child echocardiogram and then said, your daughter has got a hole in the heart. Please bring the child to us during vacation, we'll fix it. And then he uttered a very nice word. When the school reopens, you go, and then he said she'll lead a normal life. Tears ran out of Bill Clinton's eyes, happy tears. He said, Dr. Reddy, this is a very wonderful thing. The rest of the world should follow your lead so that people in a remote place can get the benefit of high-tech medicine. I think this is what we are trying to do with IT. The other day, Government of India gave us 60,000 villages. The ASHA workers in 60,000 villages to give medical advice and help for them. It all done by 120 doctors in Hyderabad. They're using the telemedicine. I'm sure the IT is going to reach what we thought is going to be very difficult to provide healthcare to the rural people. So I congratulate all those entrepreneurs who gave all this to us. We are using them. You know, it's not to our credit. We didn't invent IT, but we learned to use the technology in such a way that it can make a significant impact for health of people. So my advice for all of you is stay happy. To stay happy, you must stay healthy. So realize that you are worth $6,000 trillion, and you will know how you look after it. You look after jewels so well, you are dressed so well, but if it's $6,000 creation, look after them. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that very enlightening address. Thank you very much for having accepted our invitation to be part of this conclave and also addressing the audience. I now request Ms. Kavita Chitturi, President, Madras Management Association, to kindly present a memento to Dr. Pratap C. Reddy. I also request Madam to kindly present a memento to Mr. Prabhu Chawla. To Mr. Shivaram. And to Dr. Preeta Reddy. I request Dr. Preeta Reddy to kindly present a memento to Ms. Kavita. Thank you. I now invite Ms. Kavita Chitturi to kindly deliver the concluding remarks.
It's indeed my privilege to deliver the concluding remarks during the inaugural session of the first Regional Management Conclave in my capacity as the President of Madras Management Association. I wish to thank All India Management Association for choosing MMA to organize its first Regional Management Conclave on the theme Leadership for Growth. And in particular, Ms. Preeta Reddy, Conclave Chairperson,